Good morning, my friends. I'm so glad to be here with you again this week. And I just want you to know, as always, that I'm thinking of you and picturing you in my mind as I teach and really wishing you well and wishing you health and safety and the company of those you care about, even if it's over a screen. So I'm thinking of you and I'm hoping you're enjoying the practice. And if you are, I'd love to hear from you by email, and just let me know what you're liking or what you want more of. Just be in touch if you feel like it. Love hearing from you. All right. So we're going to use a chair today. So if you need to pause the video and get a chair, hopefully it's one without arms. That would be best, but have a chair back. And you can improvise if you don't have a chair that works. But let's try this. So once you have taken your seat, take a moment to let yourself relax into the support of the chair, and let your eyes drift closed. Let your hands come to rest however they're most comfortable. You could clasp your hands in your lap or just rest them palms down or palms up. So we'll just take these first few moments, as always, to bring our bodies and our minds to a bit more stillness. And I'll start this class with the stanza from the poem that I love, as I have been doing every week. Settle in to the here and now. Reach down into the center where the world is not spinning, and drink this holy peace. So as we begin the process of settling in, we'll start by just noticing our surroundings. So you can leave your eyes closed. We won't worry about using our vision, but we'll notice the air around us. Notice its temperature. Notice if it's still or if you can feel air moving. Notice any smell in the air, maybe cooking, or perhaps as the days become nicer, you have a window open. Notice any sounds in your surroundings. Moving on to our sense of touch, notice the weight of your body on the chair. Feel your feet connected to the ground. Notice the touch of your hands on your lap and the sensation of your clothing against your skin. And then travel one layer deeper to find the breath. And as you do, just notice its natural ebb and flow. See if you can stay present with each in-breath and out-breath. And when your mind wanders in thought, just notice and invite your attention back to the breath. The essence of meditation is simply noticing that your thoughts have arisen and letting them go. So as you do become a bit more still, check in with the rest of your body today. Notice where you're starting, your mood, your energy level. See how your body feels today as you prepare to start your practice. Maybe you're doing this in the morning, the afternoon or evening. Maybe you've noticed that one of those is particularly appealing to you. That's the lovely thing about having a video recording, is that you can do this whenever you want, and of course as often as you want. So before we start the movement part of our practice, let's return to our practice of alternate nostril breathing. So if you need a refresher or you haven't done this before, you can open your eyes. Remember, we're using the right hand. And we're just relaxing the index finger and the second finger toward the palm just a bit. Turning the palm inward, closing that right nostril with your thumb, inhaling through the left, and then switching, closing the left nostril with your ring finger and exhaling right. Then inhaling right. Switching, exhaling left. Inhaling left. Switching, exhaling right. Good, so continuing on from there at your own pace. And remember, if it seems confusing, all you need to remember is that you are switching the side that's closed after each inhalation only. So with your next exhalation, just let your hand float back down to your lap. With your next inhalation, let's sit extra tall, so lifting your upper body from its support on the chair back, sitting tall on your sitting bones, maybe even coming forward in your chair just a bit. Make sure your feet are firmly planted. And on your next inhale, find that extra bit of length in the spine, extending up through the crown of your head. And on your exhale, let your shoulders soften, but keeping that nice tall posture, start to explore movement with your head. So we're starting at the very top of the spine, starting to bring some nice movement into those top 7 vertebrae that we call the cervical spine, or more commonly the neck. So just moving your head any way that feels good. Letting your head come back to its normal position. Let your eyes drift open, and we'll start, as we always do, moving down to the shoulders, making some circles one way. Other way. And then go ahead and make some circles with your spine. So just keep looking forward at me on the screen. Your head stays lifted. And then go the other way. Coming back to center, take a big inhale. Good, let's reach your right hand a little extra high, and then your left hand, and right again, and left again, right again, and left again. Good, coming back to center, let's reach across your body as if you're grabbing something and pulling it. And reach across and pull. Good, a few more times like that. So we're just getting a little bit of spinal rotation here. Continuing down the spine. And then coming back to center, floating those arms up again, bringing your fingertips to the tops of your shoulders, drawing those circles in the air with your elbows. And then letting those circles get wider and wider. And starting again, circling in the opposite direction. Getting wider and wider. And then leaving your fingers where they are, bring your elbows in. Maybe they'll touch, maybe they won't. Doesn't matter. Just bring them in as far as they can. And then go out and in and out and in and out. Good. Relax your arms. Let's cross the right ankle over the left thigh. And let's start by working on our feet. So at this point, if you have a tennis ball and you'd rather do our tennis ball massage, you're welcome to do that. But otherwise, if you don't have one or you want to just stay here with me, we're just going to take those toes and pull them in opposite directions. One way, one the other. And then move down the row of toes, just pulling in opposite directions. Those toes a little stretch. Remind them that they are free of socks and shoes. Yay. Because even socks can be a little constricting for the feet sometimes, so it's nice to be barefoot when you can. So then give each toe a little tug as if you want to make it longer. And then we're going to use our thumbs on the ball of the foot. We're just going to get in there kind of like we're just, pushing all over, kind of kneading the ball of the foot. And if it feels okay for your foot, you can kind of twist your forefoot one way and then the other. And then bringing your thumbs down to that place where we usually stand on the tennis ball. So right in front of the heel, right about there. And we're just gonna kind of really press in there with the thumbs. See if that feels good. If it doesn't, you can back off on the pressure. If it does, you can increase the pressure. Just really let yourself customize this. And then let's give some nice circulation enhancement here. Give your feet a nice clap. Good. And then let's point the toes and flex. And point and flex. Point and flex. Good. Let's make circles. And circles the other way. Good. And then keep that foot flexed. Pick up the knee and the ankle. Rock it side to side. And then put that ankle down, sit up nice and tall. Foot is still flexed. And remember, we're tilting at the hips here. So just tilt forward. You don't need to round forward. Try to keep your head lifted, looking at me. We're just looking for that stretch in the outside of the hip. And then sitting back, go ahead if it's comfortable to cross thigh over thigh, or you could just leave it here if that feels better for you. But if you want to do thigh over thigh, take a big inhale. And on your exhale, you're going to take your left hand to your right thigh and then take a big long look over that right shoulder. untwist and uncross, and we're going to start over on the other side. So again, we're going to do our feet, and again, if you would prefer to do the tennis ball massage, you can do that instead. But if you're doing this, we're taking the toes, we're pulling one way and one the other way, and we're working our way down the row of toes, pulling one forward, one back. And then give each one a tug. Good, and then using the thumbs to massage the ball of the foot. You can really dig in there if it feels good. If not, you can be more gentle. And you can twist your forefoot one way and then the other, to your own degree of comfort. So it's like you're twisting it so you can see the ball of the foot, and then you're twisting it so you can see the top of the foot. And then moving on down to that sweet spot just in front of the heel, using both thumbs to kind of alternately press in there. Good morning to your plantar fascia. If you have a tennis ball, this is where you would be just standing on it on that spot. I popped a tennis ball at home the other day. I thought of you all when I did it. Good. And then flex that foot again, and give your foot a round of applause. Excuse me, good. And then point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, circles, circles the other way. Good. Flexed foot again, pick it up, rock side to side. Good, and then put that ankle down, foot is still flexed, so your toes are pointing forward at me. And then tilting. This is my tighter hip, so I'm not tilting quite as much. And then sitting back. Go ahead and cross thigh over thigh if that's comfortable. If not, you can stay here. Big inhale. On the exhale, that right hand finds the left knee, and that left arm can come around over your chair back or wherever it lands most comfortably. You're looking over that left shoulder, bringing the left side of your rib cage back and the right side forward. Couple of nice, easy breaths here into this twist. Good. And then untwist, uncross. And let's bring our feet wide. to the outside edges of your mat, or about 2 feet apart. Lean forward like you have to tell me a secret, and take one shoulder forward, one shoulder back. And then the other. And then the other. Good, a few more times. Just kind of loosening maybe the upper back muscles a little bit. And then back to center, bring your feet back in. So this is the one where you're going to be right up on the edge of your chair, but still solidly on the chair. Make sure you're not going to fall. And we're going to bring the right knee in and maybe slide that left leg out. And I don't know if you can see my foot down here, but my left foot is flexed. And then switch. Hug that left knee in. Right foot is flexed. Good. And a few more times. In and in. And you don't have to go as fast as I am going. You can even go faster if you really want to go crazy, but speed is not necessary here. Just make sure you don't slide off your chair. Good, and then go ahead and put your feet back down. Let's turn to your right. So you're sitting on your chair. My left hip is kind of a little off the chair. Just kind of depends on your chair. But we're going to take that big inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to twist toward the back of your chair. Let your hand or hands come down to rest on the chair. And just stay nice and tall, breathing into the twist. Coming back through center, working your way all the way around to your left. So again, maybe your right hip is not completely on the chair. Feet are solidly on the floor though. Big inhale. On your exhale, you'll twist to your left, and one hand or maybe both hands will find the back of the chair. You'll look toward the back, away from the camera. Take a few breaths here. And come back to center. And so you're going to have your feet right under your, your heels right under your knees. Shift forward, stand up, sit down, hold my pants, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, halfway up, all the way up, all the way down, halfway, sit down, halfway, sit down, all the way, sit down, all the way, halfway. All the way, half, up, half, up, half, down, half, down, half, up, down, up. I'm doing more of these than usual, but of course you can take a break anytime you want. Up, half, up, half, up, half, down, up, down, up, down, up. All right, so from here, come around to the back of your chair. And we're gonna put our hands on our chair back. And we're gonna take a peek down at our feet. We're gonna lift up all 10 toes. See if you can spread them apart a bit. Put your pinky toes down. And see if you can put one toe at a time down. It's very hard to do. Don't worry about actually doing it. Just worry about trying to do it. Good, once all your toes have come to rest, we'll come up on those toes and down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Maybe your hands will lift, maybe not. If they lift, you can always grab on again. If you want to bring your hands a little higher or a lot higher, make the structure taller, which makes balancing a little more tricky. You can do that. Remember, it's fine to have your hands down here. Totally up to you. Or even holding on. If you're holding on, try to hold lightly. Good. Heels down, bend those knees. Stand up again, let's balance again, lifting. So remember your focal point, maybe me on the screen, maybe I will be your focal point, or you can look straight ahead at eye level. I don't know where your screen is. Maybe it's already at eye level. And again, you can let go. You could bring your hands into prayer position. We're just strengthening those feet and ankles, strengthening our balance ability. Good. Heels down, hands down, bend those knees. Good. So stay where you are. I'm going to turn my mat. You don't need to, because you can just turn your head if you need to look, but we're just going to be doing something you guys are familiar with already. So holding on to your chair back, we're going to start stepping away, away. Oops, let me straighten out my mat here so I don't trip myself. We're going to step away, and we're going to come down, and maybe you want to bend your knees. Maybe that's going to feel good. And maybe your head can come between your upper arms. Not lower, maybe just level. And then let's everyone bend those knees and reach your sitting bones back and stretch those arms long. Remember, if one of your shoulders doesn't like this, you could just let that arm relax if you like. So remember also that you can come out of this anytime you want. And let's start to bend one knee and then the other. And remember, the whole foot stays on your mat. The heels never lift. As you bend one knee, that hip is lower and the other hip is higher. Coming back to center, stretch those sitting bones back again. And from here, keeping your hands on your chair, slowly come up to standing. So we've been down for a while, so take a moment to reorient yourself. Couple of breaths here. Feel your feet beneath you. Feel the crown of your head stretching toward the ceiling. And I'm going to turn so that the right hand is on your chair. And of course, if your chair is not very movable and you want to use your left hand first and then turn, whatever works for you, of course, is fine. So I'm going to have my right hand on my chair back and shift my weight to my right foot. Bring the left knee up and out and down and around. Up, out, down and around. Good. We're going to do a few more times. As that foot comes around, you're going to bring the sole of that left foot to the inside of the right calf. So the knees pointed out to the side, the toes are pointed down toward your mat. Let's float that left arm. And maybe the right hand will soften its grip, release the grip, float out, float to your hip, float toward the ceiling. Use your focal point. Whoops. See where your balance is today. Mine is apparently not great. Think about pressing the foot into the calf. And then come on back down. And then from here, let's see how we're doing on time. Yep, let's go ahead and turn so that your left hand is on the chair. And I'm just going to bring it around. If that works for you, you can do that too. Bring the right knee up. Out and around, up, out, around, up, out, around. A few more times. And then the sole of that right foot finds the inside of the left calf. Right knee angled out. Right foot, toes pointing down. Right arm floats. Shoulders soft. Left hand loosens or lifts. Decide what works for you for that left arm. If you want to find your full tree pose, you can, but you don't need to. It's perfectly fine to keep some support nearby. If that standing foot is all wibbly wobbly, that's exactly what we want. Mine is too. That's your brain doing its job of keeping you from falling over. Your brain senses that your weight is going a little too far to one side, so it wobbles that foot in the other direction. Pretty miraculous, really. Hands through prayer if you like, or you can just find the chair and bring that foot down. Let's do one more round of our down dog variation. I'm just scooting my chair so I stay kind of in the frame. And we're stepping back. And we're bending those knees. And we're reaching the sitting bones toward the wall behind us. And maybe we're bending one knee and then the other. Slowly coming up to standing. So now if your chair is easily movable, bring it around to the long side of your mat and then turn it so that the seat is facing you. If your chair is immovable, move your mat instead so that you have the same orientation. Bring the long side of your mat to the front of chair or couch or whatever you might be using. And we're going to take a wide stance. And then see if you can go just a tiny bit wider. And then again, folding from the hip crease, we're coming down. And maybe your hands are just going to find the seat of the chair. That's perfectly good. Maybe you want to bring your forearms to the seat of the chair. My head's going to disappear now. Possibly, if you want to get a little bit more, you can slide your chair out a bit more so that you're kind of have your straight arms on the seat of the chair. So again, just kind of see what feels good for you. Maybe you could try one hand at a time, see if the floor is available. If it's not, just come right on back up to the seat of the chair. You can let your head relax if that feels good. Another thing you might try is to bend one knee and then the other. And you're just kind of shifting your weight side to side. You probably want your chair close to you if you're doing that. I'm just kind of peeking out from under my chair back here. And you can make this a little movement or bigger, deeper. It's just going to depend on how your knees and your hips are feeling about this. Come back to center, have your hands solid, bring your feet in, bend your knees, slowly rise back up. So from here, we're going to make our way down for Shavasana, but for just a minute, maybe have a seat on your chair and just watch. I thought that I would offer you a couple of alternatives. So don't do this yet, just watch. So if you have a wall nearby and you'd like to do legs up the wall, the easiest way to accomplish that is to sit with one hip right next to the wall. And then you'll just kind of lean down, lying on your side, and swing your legs up. And then if you want to, you can scoot your hips closer to the wall, but you don't have to. So you could just stay right there and just relax and do that for Shavasana. The other thing you can do, of course, which we've done in class, some of you do this regularly, but I really like this as a nice release for the low back, is to just kind of scoot your hips as close as you can to your chair, and then bring your calves up onto the seat of the chair. And I'm going to tuck my feet under the chair back. And this, again, this is a really nice release. If your chair seat is a little too high, you could fold a blanket and put it under your hips, or you could roll up your mat and put it under your hips to bring your hips up a little bit. So if you'd like to do the chair or the wall for your legs, go ahead and do that. If you prefer to just lie flat or just lie with your knees bent for Shavasana, of course you're welcome to do that. So just begin to settle in. If you need a little knees to chest, you can do that. You can rock a little side to side. Just kind of see if there's something your body is asking for that you haven't yet gotten from our practice. And of course, you can always pause the video if you need a trip to the potty, or you want to grab a blanket or turn off your lights where you are. You could do that. But when you have come into your favorite position for Shavasana, the only thing to do now is surrender to gravity. Let the pull of gravity take over. Feel your eyes soften and your jaw release. Feel the sides of your throat melting and your belly softening to receive and release each breath. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. So now if you would like to spend a bit more time in Shavasana, you can simply hit pause on this video. Otherwise, slowly and gently bring your awareness back to your breath, your body, and the space around you. Invite small movements into your fingers and toes. When you're ready, bend your knees and roll to your right side. And then gradually make your way back up to a seated position, leaving your eyes closed and your focus turned inward. Checking in to notice how you're feeling at the end of your practice. This poem is called Home Again. I slow my practice down, breathing as the ocean breathes, flowing easily from pose to pose, not knowing what comes next. Energy streams through as I let go of everything I've learned or seen. I follow where this life force leads, holding, loosening, sinking into stillness, and then moving on, but only when the time is right. I slow down to find heart and mind already aligned with body. Savoring each sensation, I come home again to my own sweet peace, to the depth and the mystery of this release. So we'll close our practice by joining our hands together in front of our hearts in a gesture of offering and of peace. I do thank you all so very much for sharing your practice with me and also with one another. We may not be doing our practice together at the same time, but I hope that by at least sharing a practice every week, we'll feel the community that we have built, and we'll keep that community going until we can be together again in person. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe and well. I'll see you next week.